who will be crowned champions of London. Scotland against South Africa, and we are underway here at Twickenham. And South Africa is hoisted high to take the restart. Sonata. South Africa immediately with plenty of width. South Africa is staying on this right-hand side. Two contrasting styles, but it's South Africa with the first mistake.
Is good.
Recovered though.
Lovely piece of play from Hofard on the ground. Yeah, here's a Gaba. He's taken the ball up well for the last 2 days.
Manage offside.
The
7. Manage over.
dropping ball into Sonata, and Sonata, well, he has just been a try-scoring machine this series.
Yeah, he cut a brilliant angle there, didn't he, off Karl Brown? But that particular movement for me, it was the turnover possession. Really, really important. Francois Hougaard, here he is, Hougaard, look at him, number 5 jersey, look how quick he's taken that ball away. Dylan Sage, and then suddenly it's South Africa on the counter. 2 hands on the ball. It was a good try, and then the deft pass. Look at the angle. Numbers were over there.
Yeah, that's brilliant running from Sonata, and you've also got to give credit on the inside. Karl Brown it was, he just sort of feinted and dummied a little bit, just held that angle or the gap open for long enough. Sonata's pace can get him almost anywhere. South Africa managed to convert that into 7 points for South Africa.
Yeah, the full 7 for South Africa. As I'm saying, two contrasting styles here. Scotland will work hard, side to side, build slowly for their tries. South Africa very different. You turn over ball very quickly and then use Sonata's pace. Frankowski will try and cover here. He does well against Farndale. Member of the GB squad, Jamie Farndale. James Johnston is caught. Scott Riddell never gives less than 100% for the Scotland jersey, and he's won the penalty, and Scotland go quickly here. That's right. For his passing ability in this final. Johnston again.
Advantage.
And it's advantage to Scotland.
Over.
And they race away. Farndale. And Scotland don't have to work too hard for that one. And they're right back in this game.
Lovely try from Jamie Farndale. It was a good pass across the face. I've got a feeling Hougaard tapped off that. He'd gone in a little bit higher. The referee showed the advantage. I'm not sure. It was actually Karl Brown. The referee definitely showed advantage. I'm almost certain they didn't want to go back for that penalty, though. But look at this. It's a lovely pass out, and he just uses the space. He's over in the corner.
Yeah, conversion missed, though, by Scott White.
6.
And it's such a feature of the game. 11 passes Scotland have completed already to 8. That high tackle came on, but Johnson did well, and Farndale, who's shone in a 7's jersey, one of the stars of the Scotland team, goes in to match South Africa in the try-scoring stakes.
But in all of the tournaments this series, Jamie Farndale, 27th try this series.
Work from now.
He wrapped up Sonata very quickly.
Have to. Cannot afford to give the man any space at all. This South Africa. Agaba. A neat step from Agaba. South Africa is on his inside. It's bobbling around. Knock on. And that's what Scotland will have to do, not only for the remaining 5.5 minutes of this half, but another 10 minutes in the second half.
Well, I'm just looking here. We've had the 14-minute effective games happening for the last 2 days. Those 3 minutes, it sounds like nothing. It feels like hours and hours. When you're playing in a final, you would now be a minute and a half away from a rest. But you're 5 full minutes. You've got a bench who are saying, we don't want to come on and help you yet.
Yeah, and it's the ebb and the flow of the game that's so important. We've already seen South Africa into that early lead. My concern from a Scottish perspective is, can Scotland match the pace of South Africa? And it's going to be key that they eliminate the mistakes from the game.
Shot Perry Baker out very well in that semi-final. Found out, surrounded by South African shirts. Bukowski was one of them.
Okay.
Bring it back here, Scotland. Riddell just tries to absorb a couple more South African defenders. He's wrapped up. South Africa offside, though. Scotland penalty, they can build again.
Absolutely, I think it was South Africa just rushing a little bit on that defence, trying to shut Scotland down. He was worried that overcommitted players to the tackle and ruck area. It was a tackle which became a ruck. Kinkowski and Brown both wrapped up. It's because it takes quite a bit to bring Fondale down.
Don't go for touch here, Scotland. They go for the tap. Fondale. Great tackle from in Africa. Tries to dance down the touchline, but he's out.
Well, Scotland impressing with their attacking strategies and probably taking a leaf out of the South African book here as they find the wide outside channel. Fondale didn't quite hit that one in his full straps, did he? He didn't expect it.
Number 5 off.
Yeah, the drift just caught him wide. You're 100% right. It was a
5 off.
lovely move. They sort of looped around that contact point,
Number
trying to
5 off,
create
please.
more space. They've done exceptionally well this Scotland. They put a lot of pressure on Francois Hougaard, who's now left the field and iced up the left hand. It'll be a bit of a worry for South Africa. Roscoe Speckman replaces him.
Speckman on. Hougaard has had a wonderful season, 15s and 7s. Playing here in England. Scotland with a driving ball. You don't often see this in 7s. Unique, but very, very effective. There's a first, fellas.
Well, take that one out the coaching manual of Callum McRae, because I think that the Scotland coach laced that one. I've seen South Africa on a driving ball in a final here at Twickenham do that against Fiji, and that was great, excellent play, aware of everything that was happening, and it was good execution all round.
Absolutely, you should have seen the excitement here in the commentary box next to me. I've never seen a driving maul generate such upward force in the commentary box. There's jumping around going on, but Ryan Kinkowski and Timothy Agaba, it has to be said, are men who've come from 15s. They should have known what was coming. Once the driving maul started, they needed to get in and under that ball.
Good job, Nick.
And to try and hold it up.
Thanks, bro.
Scotland are going to have the advantage of kicking off after that, and they lead South Africa 10-7.
2 minutes, 15 left of this first half of the Cup final. Scotland only ever beaten South Africa in Scotland 3 times, the latest in 2014 in Glasgow, and they finished 4th there. Highest ever finish.
Look for now. Advantage of South 7.
With their 2015 4th place finish in Wellington.
Advantage over.
But South Africa have other ideas here, but only if Sinatla can keep hold of that ball. Carl Brown with a pass, and Sinatla can't keep his mitts on it.
And just as the advantage was over by Alex Ruiz, the fumble there from Sinatla.
Offside number 7.
Well, that statistic just sums up what an exciting player he is. And South Africa, yes, they do rely on him an awful lot. Pass was a bit high, wasn't it, Bobby?
Absolutely, not textbook stuff at all. And
Crouch.
Sinatla just way ahead on those try-scoring stats. You've got to say, though, hats off again to Callum McRae on the Scotland side. They've kicked on Sinatla twice, which takes him out of the game if you can get around the ankles and stop him.
Again, they're trying to get man out wide here. This time, it's Hoyland. And then they show patience, and they'll go back the other way. Loose pass this time from Scotland. And Scotland are happy to do this, aren't they, Scott? Just to build up the phases, to build up play slowly.
They are, but if you have a team that come up and push your defence up on the press, it's hard for Scotland to then set their attacking lines.
South Africa constantly looking for those turnovers. There's Sinatla.
Not clear,
And
releasing.
Africa in the tackle, not releasing.
Yeah, you got to release the player on the ground there. Sanatla, I think it was penalised. Africa came in, he was contesting, but Sanatla hadn't let go yet. He's the guy making that tackle. He needs to have let go. He made a sort of chicken wing flap with the arms, but his whole chest area was still pressing the Scottish player on the ground, so he's going to get in trouble for that. Scotland have earned their reprieve and then moved up the field with a kick out into touch.
And then you look at that clock. Where is that 10 minutes gone? It's over in the blink of an eyelid, isn't it?
One last chance then. 10-7, 3-point lead. Scott Rice as well. That'll do for half-time, and it is Scotland in their first ever cup final on the 7 series, in the lead at half-time, 10 points to 7 over South Africa.
Let's not forget, South Africa, runners-up in the World Series this season, have been quite scintillating throughout the year. It's on a knife edge, Johnny.
Certainly is. 4th cup final for South Africa. Won their home tournament, of course, in Cape Town.
Brilliant acrobatics there.
You're putting down.
But they go to the Olympics for what sport?
Now you're putting down support players. You can't. No, you can't. Control is good, not putting down.
Look at this. There's pressure from South Africa. Oh. Perfect landing.
Rhythmic gymnastics, is it?
Absolutely, that's outstanding play.
Look at that. We'll have the rings and the balance bar in the next couple of minutes. Floor exercises have been done. South Africa inaccurate in that first half, but they can strike from anywhere. We know that they get turnover ball, they feed off it. That's what they're looking for.
Right from now.
Need to just sense that opportunity to break down. Here's Wright. One of those passes out in front of Hoyland. Back to Wright. Oh, he's done well to spin out of the tackle. Sage is all over Hoyland, but Scotland retain possession. Carl Brown goes in. Pass is loose from Scotland.
Good covering by Snyman, I think it was. It was a snap decision from Carl Brown to get in there.
Yeah, Chris Dry also in with the tackle for South Africa.
He's going to come out with this one.
No hands! 2!
Farndale somehow has held on to it. South Africa's so good at the breakdown, have been all series.
Advantage, I tackle.
Advantage for the high tackle. Scotland will have a penalty. They have the lead, don't they? 3 points.
Okay, number 1, getting offside.
Johnston. Come back for that penalty now.
For what pass?
So they're driving more from 45.
Offside.
I think that ball had just drifted
Offside.
forward. There was an advantage there, and it was played from that high tackle. Didn't see the forward pass myself, but certainly Scotland were disappointed. They felt that Farndale had a chance there. He was away.
Yeah, there was. You know, this is stressing the
Number
players.
4,
and
number 7
here you go again. There was a 3-on-2, 3-on-1 almost on the outside, or 2-on-1 on the outside.
And they've gone for the long drift pass, haven't they? The skip pass. The ball should
Time
usually do the work.
Offside.
If you've got the men and they can straighten up. I saw Carl Tanana remonstrating when he was watching players. It's a good hit.
Sinatla, great tackle. He Johnston's off. Farndale's off, but Scotland are doing well in this final to identify forwards out wide, trying to pick off forwards and backs, same 7s and 15s, but South Africa now with the penalty. Speckman.
Sinatla with a thumping tackle there. We often look at Sinatla, but watch him here. He came off his line, read the movement really well on McLennan. Took a little bit of a knock himself, but all part and parcel of this 7-a-side game. And
well, here's a bit of strategy and tactical work from South Africa. They've decided not to take the kick for touch. They've got a move in the centre of the field. It has to work for them.
Sinatla. Inside, South Africa. Oh, he's away. He looks inside and finds Speckman. Races away underneath the post for South Africa in the cup final here in London.
Lovely bit of play by Speckman for the finish, but well done to Cecil Africa and Siabela Sinatla outside. Kyle Brown created the space. Scotland are on to Sinatla. They're all over him every time he gets the ball, so it was 2 flick passes inside, which created the opportunity for Speckman to run off a lovely offload.
And you said, Bob, they took the tap penalty, didn't they? Deep in their own half. It had to work, and it has.
The execution and accuracy was so good here. Watch the quality of the passing. Kyle Brown just timed that inside pass well, and Speckman on the backup on the inside of Cecil Africa. It's just that understanding of the players around you, able to do that. They set that move from a penalty and from so deep as well.
Try scoring against Fiji in the semi-final and in the quarter-final. Now he's got one in the final. Roscoe Speckman, and they get possession back here, South Africa. Just beginning, the tide is beginning to turn, isn't it? The way of the nation in green. The way of the nation that have been in these situations before. 44th Cup final, they've won 22 of them, but Scotland aren't done yet. They are being brave. Oh, but it's an interception, and it's Cecil Africa. Cruel for Scotland, joy for South Africa.
Well, that's fingertip stuff there from South Africa. Had they retreated the 10 metres, I'm not so sure. It was in front of us here. The referee allowed them to play because I think it was Dylan Sage tracking back, but the offload off the ground went the wrong way.
Yeah, it was the turning point perhaps within this final. Scotland will alert through Scott White. Speckman came back. Africa, well, you could argue that he hadn't retired the 10 metres, but that's not going to change the result now. There's Africa there. He just tracked that one there.
Speckman communicating with the referee all the way through. I don't think he did anything wrong. I think Africa perhaps hadn't come all the way back yet. You're right, but it was fingertip stuff. Possibly not going for the offload off the ground would have worked in Scotland's favour.
Finals about inches, aren't they? Great example of that. Scotland needed to take the restart. They do. Robertson.
Advantage. Offside.
What do they have left? 11 points, the difference. Fife. Fleming against Africa, and Sinatla may have backed himself, may have scored anyway.
Well, he's saying he's backed himself. I wondered if that hitch kick was even needed. Fleming did so well to go in at the corner. We'll have another look at it.
Wow, didn't he just pin his ears back? He had the flyers after him there. He did the hard work, driving with those legs once he had
RVR, please.
Taken the tackle on. We're going to go for the RVR.
Perez wants to look. Officials are all round it.
And the stadium watches with bated breath. Here he is. He's carrying Sinatla. He's carrying Africa. Oh, there's a clear grounding, if you ask me.
Not for a South African.
Didn't he do that well? Fleming, strength to go down over the line. You saw his reaction straight away. He's going to have another look at it, Alex Ruiz, however.
Yeah.
Initially the pace, and then laterally the strength with Sinatla and Africa on his back, and Scotland are back in his time. What a moment for James Fleming. What a moment for Colin McRae. It's got right, it looked like it was going right in between the uprights, fades across right to the last moment.
You can see Sinatla tracking back there. He definitely made the mistake. He didn't trust Sage on the inside. He didn't trust the cross defence. And by the time he'd got back, Fleming had done all the hard work to get over.
Great try, though, isn't it?
He will remember that one to his last breath. Trying the cup final at Twickenham, Scotland's first ever cup final. Still the advantage is with South Africa, though. 6 points, though. Africa. Sinatla. Snyman. Again it goes wide. Speckman, he's already scored one in the final. He's going to score two. South Africa respond immediately.
Well, you got to doff your cap to Snyman, who avoided all the contact. Scotland have been excellent at drawing South Africa in and taking the ball on the ground and pressurising them. Snyman, the single step inside, then the next one, then the brilliant pass which opens it up for Speckman, and it's a foot race from 45 metres out, and he's going to win it all day long.
It's all about space and pace, isn't it? Speckman, second try there. He has been a catalyst of all things good in South African sevens rugby.
Well, every time he's come on off the bench, he's changed the game, taking nothing away from Francois Hougaard, who's had a very good tournament as well, and two different players, but Speckman just injects a pace into it, and he's uncompromising on his defence, his tracking back, and the hard work and communication to the players around him. Yeah, outstanding.
You look at that clock now, Bobby, and you think, well, Scotland, 2 tries in the last minute and a quarter. It's nigh on impossible.
A little genie off the bench, isn't he? Roscoe Speckman changed this game with his brace. Dylan Sage, high tackle, Scotland want the ball.
No, here, please.
Scotland have to score now. And there's a slip in the midfield. Scotland so brave. Robertson again gives the ball to Bryce.
Yeah.
Picked up again by Robertson. South Africa defending for all they have. There's numbers on the right-hand side. Scotland will score. Wright just needs to give the pass to Fife. Scotland are there. That's 5 back.
What heart. You heard Callum McRae at half-time say to his team, be brave. Well, Scotland have been brave. They've given themselves a lifeline.
Brilliant play from the Scots, and it was a real team try as well, up the left-hand side. Fife was the finisher, sure, but the hard work had been done. We saw Robertson, lovely offload. I've got the ball off the kickoff.
This final just keeps giving, doesn't it? Bryce.
Advantage over.
Without, the advantage is over for Scotland. 4 points the difference. Still possession there for Scotland.
Advantage offside.
Again, they got numbers on the right side. They don't need them. What a piece of Scottish rugby history. Scotland will win the cup final here in the home of English rugby. Their first ever cup final victory. What a moment for the players, for Callum McRae and for Scottish rugby.
Absolutely brilliant effort from Scotland. Came flying back into it. We have to be brave, said Callum McRae, and brave they were. Deserved victory for Scotland, never took their eye off the prize in front of them.
Well, the nation that invented the game of 7-a-side rugby lifts their first ever title as a proud and former captain of the Scotland Sevens team. What a final, what a sport, what a brilliant game we have.